I had the flu. Hiya, pal. I have knowledge of things you can't conceive of. So I thought it'd just be easier to, tell you about it. Movies. I am an absolute sucker for the advertising of low or zero budget films, and apparently YouTube knows it too, because I was advertised The Grinch That Stole Bitches. Twice. It didn't live up to the hype.
You deserve to be treated like queen, bitch. Thrown around like porn stars and shit. Don't settle for nothing less.
Every time I'm forced to go to a Dollar Tree or Goodwill, I say forced because I practice even more sustainable shopping habits. None. The one place I need to go is the DVD section. I went just for this video, and look at what I found. And I finally got a copy of my favorite movie.
Jared, you saved my life!
Yeah, I know. But don't worry, I do it like 5 times a day, so I'm pretty used to it.
You're so big and cool and strong and awesome and
keep
big
going,
and
keep
strong
going.
And cool and good and okay and fine.
Now these dollar store finds are pretty cool and all, but they're pretty risky purchases. I could end up paying $5 for a movie I assume will blow my mind to pieces and glue it back together with a whole new understanding of the universe, and it ends up just being, uh-oh, boring. Good thing there's a way around this. A way to get a better idea of what you're getting into with these films. Look no further than Where Dreams Come True and then some. Tubi. A lot of the time, I sit on Space Couch to watch something while I eat because I tried just looking at the wall, but it learned to look back at me. I struggle to find something, anything of quality to watch. I scroll YouTube, I scroll Netflix, I scroll HBO Max, passing all of these films and shows that everyone in the world is telling me to watch, but damn it, I just don't want to. Then I go to Tubi and bam! Easter Someday. How could I resist something that looks like that? Plus, I got an hour and 10 minutes, so why the hell not?
The Book of Wishes is going to take you to magical doors, where you will face very difficult challenges.
This is really creepy.
Oh, that's why the hell not. But these movies on Tubi are guaranteed life-changing experiences. No kidding. You watch one and you learn something about the world of filmmaking. Wow, Quentin Tarantino made another film that feels like watching one of his films. Boom. Bad Cat. An R-rated Tubi original animated movie based off an adult comic strip from Istanbul. Tell me, which is more enlightening? And free! With ads. But there is one Tubi movie that shines brighter than all the rest. One that doesn't really give you a reason to watch anything else ever again. One that you could watch 5 times, which I have now, and still learn something from it and feel like you need to watch it again. One that is Dwegons and Leprechauns. I have a ridiculous amount of things to say about this movie. So buckle up and grab a lozenge, because your throat's gonna start hurting after your mouth is open for 97 minutes. Here we go. This masterpiece is presented to you by Vertical Entertainment, Legend Toon Limited, and Interaction Studios. Ooh, looky! What a mysterious cameo! Dwegons and Leprechauns begins without hesitation where all great stories do. Somewhere in the Wild West, 1849. Same year Dostoevsky was exiled to Siberia, so it's bound to be interesting. I wonder where these people are from, or where they're going. Here's our main character, Billy, who steals a tin of something from the camp and brings it into the woods.
I think he really believes he talks to the wee folk.
Billy brings this tin to a bunch of tiny carriages full of something, doing something. Turns out the tin is full of donuts, and these tiny creatures really fucking want donuts. In exchange, they give Billy a gold coin with the face of a face. These creatures fight off a bear in a conflict that's created and resolved within 10 seconds.
The Fitzgeralds are your friends till the end of time!
Dwegon!
That's like the movie! We get a morph cut to Billy all grown up with the very same coin.
One cold and snowy wintry night as the snow lay on the ground.
While making lunch for, I guess, himself, the hawk, and the cow, old Billy peeks above the stove to see a beetle walking across. And what happens next?
Stood a handsome young maiden named Eileen.
Dwegan reveal! Yeah, this is a Dwegan in all of its glory.
All of it?
This Dwegan is Nosy Threehorn, the main Dwegan and primary source of winking in this film. He pulls a pad and pencil, no eraser, from his armpit.
I'm the top reporter at the Dwegan Inquirer.
You're the only reporter at the Dwegan Inquirer.
Oh, Nosy.
Gold City's been a real Dullsville lately.
I have no idea what Gold City is. The movie later says we're in Gold Valley, so it was probably just a tiny mix-up in the writing room, and recording room, and editing room.
Pretty much since your great-grandpa Billy left us.
That was about 80 years ago.
That's right, I played you. This old guy isn't Billy at all. Despite what the morph cut would suggest, this is Billy's great-grandson Jim, who still carries this gold coin around all the time.
He sure kept things hopping around here.
So you tell me.
Billy was cooler than that?
Now, I'm someone who doesn't like to get up in anyone else's business.
Not according to your Tumblr character description.
Seems your grandpa made this bet with his friends. And Jimbo? Jim!
Oh my god, I love that part so much.
Jim! Jim!
You left the stove on! Nosy rushes to Jim's side, and though he does have wings, he chooses to just fall 5 times his height off the ground, which would be like if I fell off a 30-foot tall building. Jim is done for. There's no hope for him. No Dwegan magic that can save him now. But he is okay enough to tell Nosy what to do after donating his teardrops to a clean water charity.
Pete Fitzgerald in Chicago. Contact right away. He's my only living relative. Sure, Jim.
I thought he was Jim. We pan over from Jim or Jack's corpse to reveal 1, we still haven't met the main character. 2, the sun rapidly set in his honor. And 3, a picture of a boy holding a gold coin. The ambulance picks up Jim and drives away, leaving Nosy, some lady, and the Hawk alone to sob to themselves. Oh look! Asia Legend Limited has been added to the list of production companies. The movie's just now started. Holy shit! How will the Dwegans ever survive without Jim? Someplace underground, Nosy goes to the club.
Hey! I'm here for the council meeting!
Sure. The council meeting. The bouncers don't say anything and let Nosy through to Michael Jackson up the steps. Here, between neon signs that say none and flyers, we meet the stalactites.
Who are you calling a granite head?
What you gonna do about it?
I'll show you.
And you'll never see them again. They don't matter. Just another world-building detail to expand your imagination. Here's another detail. Dwegans are party animals. Look at them go! Nosy hits the alarm for a council meeting. Wait, no, Council Meetwig. And crystals emerge from the ground to form a table. The Dwegan lounge is emptied, and we're taken into the meeting via Star Wars Circle Wipe. Upon hearing the news of Jim Fitzgerald's passing from Nosy, the other Dwegans multitask by both reacting to Jim's death and announcing their main Smurf characteristic to the audience.
My blog readers send their condolences.
Oh, my mellow is totally hard.
But not to worry.
Okay, Nosy, give it a goddamn minute. Jim died. Nosy tells the council that Jim wanted them to contact his only remaining relative, Pete Fitzgerald.
We must rely on the wisdom of the ancient Book of Dwegan.
Ancient Book of Dwegan. Write that down. This old lady Dwegan's thing is that whenever the council needs to make a decision, she interrupts their flow by consulting the Ancient Book of Dwegan for an annoyingly long time until coming to the exact same conclusion that the others did. This happens every single time the council meets, to the other Dwegan's dismay, as well as mine. The old lady Dwegan consults the text, and I assume this is her speaking in an ancient Dwegan language.
But that's just what I said!
It's not my fault you kids aren't as quick on your feet as your elders.
French fries, anyone?
Yes, please! And that's how the scene ends.
I made up an official stationery paper with a law firm name.
That's definitely a crime, but as long as it's not forbidden in the ancient Book of Dwegan, I guess she's good. Wait, forget I said anything. She named the law firm Bogus, Crook, and Sleazoid. So they seal the letter and fly it to Pete Fitzgerald in Chicago. That's exactly what I meant. With that and absolutely nothing else, Pete Fitzgerald, his son Timmy, and Pete's grandma are packed and on the way to the house.
So why did he give us his house?
Well, Timmy, See, my Uncle Jim died.
I always feel better getting sad news from someone with unblinking, emotionless eyes and the widest mouth to ever exist.
It's a grand stroke of luck.
This is Grandma Fitz. If there's one thing you need to know about her, she'll fucking let you know, because every single line that comes out of this woman's mouth is either about luck or being Irish, which, as we collectively know as a society, are the same goddamn thing. But don't worry, this Irishness is sure to be important. Heck, look at the title of the movie. Grandma goes on to explain, not really to Pete or Timmy, but to us, that they were about to be evicted because the company that Pete worked for downsized and he lost his job.
Luckily, I had the great idea of turning Jim's place into a country inn.
Your idea? I thought it was my dad's idea.
Way to support your dad, Timmy. He's gonna need it.
Family is what's important. Family is what sticks together.
Then why was Uncle Jim by himself so far away?
Family is what drives you crazy on long car trips.
A very purple car comes up from behind and enters the other lane to get around Pete's car. So Pete reacts by sharply turning the wheel and swerving his car into the purple car, which causes the family cat to almost fly out the window, but luckily and magically ends up hooked to the ceiling.
Watch where you are going!
Great. Russians.
Remember, we have museum to rob.
Great. Evil Russians. While they're making out, Timmy sees a sign that says Gold Valley, California. So naturally, they immediately turn into their property, and of course there's a fucking rainbow over it.
In the old country, a rainbow like that meant good luck.
Pretty sure that rainbows are a universal sign of good luck. Also, what do you mean a rainbow like that? Are there other types? Hey, look! It's a rainbow! Wow! That means good luck!
No, that's only for rainbows that are one solid arc. Then what's this one? I studied this in Intro to Irishness. Jagged rainbow, jagged. Right! It's a sign that you're schizophrenic!
A rainbow like that meant good luck. But you also knew that company was nearby.
Company?
Just the little people.
Oh, okay. Just them.
Stop stepping on my horn, Jabbo!
You stop mashing my potatoes!
We cut back to the car pulling in, then again to the Dwegons, who run up and into the glass, despite already standing at the window 5 seconds ago.
The seeds are here!
Gonna say that when my grandchildren visit.
How do we know they aren't bad seeds?
Don't worry, I'm armed.
Hey,
Now that's an old man on his property.
would you put that potato bazooka away, Jabbo? How many are there?
1 potato, 2 potato.
You may be able to take away his guns, but you can never take away his personality trait.
3 people! That's 3 times the socks!
No, you didn't miss anything. Give it time, give it time. That lady from before, Missy, greets the Fitzgeralds. Apparently, she was Jim's neighbor and he was like a father to her. I love the parts of this movie where a character hits an animation and your heart kind of skips a beat.
Pete Fitzgerald.
See, Peter? With the big rainbow outside, I know you're gonna find your pot of gold soon.
Nice to hear, Grandma, but rainbows will only get you so far.
No, Pete, you've got to believe in the power of the rainbow!
I'm sure the inside isn't that bad.
No, the inside's messier than a bull with a spastic colon.
Oh! Wait, a spastic colon is just IBS. Why would a bull with IBS be especially messy? Wouldn't it kind of be less messy? Let's play a game of what's gonna happen. Alright, Timmy's walking into the house for the first time. What's gonna happen? Oh, we're not even going to acknowledge that? Okay, Timmy's walking through the house. What's gonna happen? I don't know if it's the jovial music that's playing or the facial expressions or what, but this is definitely hands down the scariest part of the movie for me. If I woke up to this music and this cow, I would pee my little pants. And I like my little pants! Aw, he's a nice cow. He's harmless. Wait, Timmy, what are you doing? That's a terrible idea.
Look, Dad, I'm a cowboy.
Timmy!
No, I'm an ox boy.
Keep your panties on, Peter.
Oh?
That ox is in trouble.
The ox is in trouble? Don't you mean Timmy?
You're a tough one, aren't you? But not as tough as me.
I stand corrected.
Jim didn't have much company here, so we let the animals live in the house with him.
That's all fine and everything, but one, you were supposed to be his company, and two, has this ox just been in this house since Jim died? Also, these chickens? That would explain why when the eggs hatch, they're completely empty. At some table, because we're not at the Dwegan Lounge anymore, I think, the Dwegans discuss if and how much gold they should give to the newcomers.
I can help by fixing that old clunker of theirs.
Great! And I say we give him some gold nuggets.
See what the book says.
Oh my gosh, he's reading the book again. They all determine that they need to hide some gold for the Fitzgeralds so they can benefit from the Dwegans without knowing about them, because
The best helping hand is a hand unseen.
an unseen hand.
Now, Mercury's in retrograde.
Astrology, Dwegan?
You gotta hide the gold where their karma will lead them.
What are y'all?
Buddhism, Dwegan?
Oh, I'm getting a vibe.
That's my pager. LOL, I forgot.
Oh, so your chin looks like a giant ball sack, and you sound like one. At the house, the cat sees the southern Dwegan and runs up the stairs. This is how that's handled.
I'll show that cat who's in charge.
I like how you can see the individual hairs on this cat, like all those Russian animated Netflix shows for kids where it's simultaneously the best and worst animation you've ever seen.
So, Missy, what do you do for a living?
You guys aren't concerned about the cat?
Who would want to change all this?
Well, it does kind of go with your car.
Wait. So there was just a hole in the floor under that tarp. Did Missy know about it? Did Jim know about it? Did the ox know about it? So many questions, which makes it a phenomenal viewing experience. Missy miraculously has this lasso and lowers it into the hole, which is miraculously deep enough for there to be time for her to miraculously catch Pete around the waist. So they pull him out using the ox and nothing. Move on. Griso is working on Pete's car. He cuts a wire for admittedly no reason.
I wonder what this stupid thing is for.
And when the noise is too loud for him to handle, he rips out the wire that he already cut. Cars! Meanwhile, Timmy finds a potato gun in his room and shoots it into the wall. That could kill somebody! It got lodged unbroken in the wall. On its way there, the potato projectile knocks over a framed picture of Timmy's mom.
I hope in heaven you can still watch over us.
Man, that really sucks, Timmy. I'm sorry. Thanks for telling us, though. Oh, you're never gonna talk about this again? It's okay. People mourn differently. The Dwegans are busy trying to hide their gold for the Fitzgeralds to find, but it isn't working all that great.
Helping the Fitzgerald family's always been a pain in the...
Oh, you're done talking. They first try covering the gold with a sheet under the sink because that won't seem unnatural at all. Why though? Why? The humans hear a noise from the kitchen and investigate, but Grandma Fitz just closes the cabinet doors where the gold is hidden. Then, Pete sees that picture of Billy holding the coin, and they're all like, cool picture, bro.
He looks just like Timmy.
Yeah, it looks exactly like him. By the way, the kid on this promotional picture for the movie is not Timmy. That's Billy from the prologue.
Oh, we can turn this place into a country inn, but it's gonna take a lot of work. And it ain't gonna be cheap. How about you just own me till you get back on your feet?
Well, let's get started now.
Whoa, Grandma Fitz, you were really ready to accept that stranger's money. Pete goes upstairs and shops online for furniture, but he can only afford shitty ones. Meanwhile,
If I was only 100 years younger, man, that hot mama would be in big trouble.
are there canonical Dwegan and human sexual relationships?
When I was 97, it was a very good year.
You think you're so funny, don't you?
Okay, fantastic. Grandma Fitz, unaware that she's being horned on, finds the potato stuck in the sink pipe, and after taking it out, a bunch of water comes out despite none flowing before it was plugged. Hearing Grandma Fitz cry for help, Pete and Missy go downstairs and leave the laptop open, so Blue Chip pulls a Romeo and Juliet Terraforminator scene. How?
First, let me cancel Pete's bid. Never leave home without it. Now to hack into their servers and no one else can bid. It vibrates. Woo.
Pete stops the water spill and there's the gold! But guess they didn't see it.
Humans. Couldn't find their left hand with their right.
You tell us, Nosy. Wait, where is mine?
Time for plan B. First contact.
Gross. Now it's time for the other part of this movie.
The leprechauns? The leprechaun part? No!
The Russian mafia part.
Moving our operations from Moscow has finally paid off.
We learn what these mobsters are up to from the mouth of this hunchbacked character, Mr. Pavora.
The Czech government wants to increase tourism. There is U.S. museum exhibit including the priceless Prague Sun.
Why does he have to talk like that?
Who did this voice?
Mark Lewis!
After Mr. Pavora explains the heist, a guy who I can only assume is Gru's dad walks in with a platter of lobster just so we can watch this. That, my friends, is a choice and a half. As it turns out, that Russian couple from earlier are master thieves hired by the mafia to steal the Prague Sun. Two things you need to know about them are that their names are Vladdy and Tatiana, and that they are so incredibly beautifully in love that they are introduced in the scene making out, emitting a light that shows us every wrinkle on Mr. Pavora's face.
Vladdy and Tatiana can crack any safe like so.
Please do wax some lemon butter now.
Back at the house, Sweet Fang sneaks past Grandma Fitz as she's cleaning to steal her donuts. He of course does this by flying to the ceiling fan, rappelling down, checking with a spyglass to make sure that these are in fact donuts, and using a fishing rod to grab the donuts because there wasn't an easier way for a winged creature to get to them.
We people! I knew it!
Close, but it's we the people.
So now we know that Grandma Fitz was already aware of the Dwegons and has been her whole life, because she's Irish.
I dealt with your types in the old country.
Nosy is executing Plan B. Get the kid comfortable with Dwegons before revealing yourself to the adults. He does this in the creepiest way possible.
Hey, you! Yeah. There you go.
Timmy puts on a hard hat with a light on it to follow the voice down these dark stairs, complete with a spider and everything. And of course, he trips and does that thing where you bounce on your butt down every step because, hey, he had to. And he bounces right into his first face-to-face meeting with a Dwegon.
Nothing to be afraid of, Timmy. Dwegons never hurt people, especially Fitzgeralds.
Sounds like the kind of thing someone who hurts people, especially Fitzgeralds, would say.
Hey, you want to see the greatest place on Earth? Follow me.
Do not follow that thing into the deep, dark, spongy hole, Timmy. Fuck. It's a slide. A kid can't resist adventuring into an unknown world when it starts with a slide. Grandma Fitz is making pancakes, which might not be a good idea based on what we've seen. I guess this is why they didn't just fly to the donuts? Somehow, it would have been way more obvious. Nosy brings Timmy to this gateway with two statues like the ones from the Neverending Story, where
a harmless rainbow laser beam will blast you from those stone Dwegons.
Right.
It's completely harmless, won't hurt you at all.
Pete needs to give Timmy the stranger danger talk. I honestly hope he hasn't yet, because if he had, then Timmy is absolutely biffing it right now. Nosy tells Timmy that all he has to do is stand in the circle and say,
Dwegon!
Which will make the statues laser him and turn him tiny so he can explore Dwegonland.
Dweg what?
Dwegonland. Oh, you'll love it. It's a lot different from the Dwegonland in Europe.
Europe?
The kid's never heard of Europe before and you're telling him that Dwegons exist?
Though, my favorite Dwegonland is in China. Really high tech.
And there it is! Dwegonland, China. So Timmy says,
Dwegon!
And shrinks. The gates open up, and oh my god, it's more beautiful than I could have ever thought. They have everything. A bridge, it's like a big cave, there's lights. Oh, and a customs employee Dwegon riding a dragon.
Do you have anything to declare? Fruits, vegetables, brand name donuts?
Just let me in, Clyde, you stupid snark face.
Jesus Christ, what did Clyde do to you? Besides be the only Dwegon with a normal last name.
He's been okayed by the Dwegon Council.
Don't you worry, Birdie. You'll get the chance to attack something sooner or later.
That dragon really wanted to kill Timmy. And where there's a rope bridge, there's a rope bridge scene. And by scene, I of course mean that Timmy almost fucking dies and Nosy helps him up with zero reaction. Missy brings over some ideas for the inn, to which Grandma Fitz replies,
Goodness, dearie. Do you ever go home?
Which is just rude to say, but Missy says,
Go home? What for? I like this place.
Which is an absolutely insane thing to say. Cause like, this isn't your house, Missy. Missy explains that after a bad breakup, Jim took her under her wing and gave her the courage to go to school and become an interior designer. So what I understand from that is that Missy was inspired to pursue interior design after living in Jim's shitty rundown house. Missy and Grandma Fitz talk about how Pete is doing after his wife's passing 2 years prior and how well he's raising Timmy.
Bit of a homebody, though. Be nice for him to get out of his room once in a while.
Oh, you wouldn't even believe how in his room Timmy is. Now we get to see more of Dwegenland. And if you're confused at all, don't worry, because everything, and I mean everything, will be explained.
The Dwegons pull rainbows in your world down into a large tube connected to that transformer over there. It distributes the light and energy to the rainbow spheroids on the cavern ceiling.
These lore dumps don't have a purpose in the story, and even though they're kind of random and they stop the flow of everything and they last a really long time, it's kind of awesome that Tom Walsh elaborated on these details for the sake of world building. You don't see that in The Grinch That Stole Bitches. Anyway, Timmy and Nosy take another slide, this time getting Timmy high as balls, and go to the Dwegon Lounge to get even more lit. Then they jump into these buckets on conveyor belts as part of the Dwegon transportation system. Yeah, another instance of Dwegons going ridiculously out of their way to not use their wings. Is it like in the Bee Movie when he compares flying to running?
It's exhausting.
It's called rainbow surfing. Kids need daily exercise to stay healthy and keep their wings in good shape.
How? Nosy intentionally falls out of the bucket and walks down some steps in the best animated moment ever.
I'm sure glad I didn't see this before.
What do you mean?
Whoa, Timmy, watch what you say. Nosy doesn't take criticism very well. He went through a lot of Dwegon therapy to get where he is today.
I'm just pulling your leg. What do I care if you like our machinery or not?
Oh, okay. Now we're at the part of the movie where Nosy introduces Timmy to all of the Dwegons one at a time for like 10 minutes straight. First, they visit Griso's car engine house.
How's it going, Rouster?
I wonder how they came up with that name. They listen and dance to Griso's Back to the Future radio, which is absolutely bumping! But only for 10 seconds because we have a lot of underground to cover. Nosy asks if Sophia's around, and Griso says she borrowed some batteries for her amps and is probably
rocking the night away.
Rocking the night away. Griso lends them one of his cars with Nosy's ride painted on the side to confuse you out of confusion. And they drive by major Dwegon landmarks like the highway, the disco, La Donut, and the Flyby Donut Shop. And I know what you're thinking.
Donuts are fattening and not health food.
To us, they're like broccoli.
How long have you guys been down here?
Start to lose count after the first 100 years or so. We found ways to recycle all your old garbage. You humans could learn something from that.
I love how Nosy just brushes off Timmy's valid historical question about Dwegons with a, yeah, whatever, we don't really care. Eat your vegetables. It genuinely feels like he's covering something up. Nosy takes Timmy to Dwegon Estate, a collection of the best Dwegon homes for the senior citizens, where they learn Dwegons drive on the left side of the road. They pass a whole bunch of seniors getting deservedly crunk because...
If you were over 160 years old and you could still bust a move like that, wouldn't you dance too?
I love these parts so much. There's basically a bunch of music cues, mostly the same one that we just heard, that are designed to feel conclusive or like something important happened, but they're always just slapped onto these random-ass moments. Oh my god. I'm peeing! Okay, but hurry up. I really have to go! You forgot to flush. Oh, my bad. Thanks.
So you gonna do us a favor?
What favor?
You'll see.
Mysterious! They drive away onto yet another dangerous bridge and up to the Great Sock Hall and into this gullet-looking entrance where there's piles and piles of gold. And these animals are called Elfies, which, compared to the Dwegon lifestyle, I guess they're basically slaves whose only job is to move gold from one pile to another pile. But don't worry, you won't ever have to look at them again because you don't get to.
This makes your puny Fort Knox look like about as impressive as a gold filling.
Yes, maybe, if we're considering the scale of the Dwegons. But each of these piles is probably an apple's worth of dust. That's 1/3 of a Smurf if you're lost in the math.
Dwegons immigrated to California during the gold rush. And guess who found the gold?
Here's some life advice for all you kids out there. Be careful what kind of questions you ask, because even the simplest and most innocent of questions can lead to some absolutely bonkers answers.
Why do you like gold so much?
Our ancestors were leprechauns who crossed the ocean chasing after the stupid snot-faced idiots who stole their pot of gold.
Yeah, so basically, Dwegons are descendants of leprechauns. How did they go from this to this? Well,
there were no female leprechauns here. There are women folk around for you to take to the dance. Our leprechaun ancestors married the local fairies, had children, and that's our story.
Yep, that's their story. This movie is called Dwegons and Leprechauns, but the only part of this movie involving leprechauns is a flashback to where leprechauns pork some fairies. Okay, what's next? Oh yeah.
Dwegons hell.
What?
Be glad you'll never have to know. And now, off to Sophia So Dwegons.
Nosy's definitely not telling us something. I got a feeling in my gut, and it isn't a party in my tummy. Happy? While we cruise around Dwegonland, I just want to take a moment to say that you gotta appreciate the effort that went into the design and concept of Dwegonland. It's not just the main Dwegons houses and empty space in between. They put so many extra details into this car ride scene alone to add unneeded but commendable depth to the world building. For instance, look at this house with all these national flags. Why are they there? Why would a Dwegon care so much about France that they have 2 French national flags? Also, I looked at every national flag in the world, but I could not find anything that looks like this one. There's so many cool things that they add to the Dwegon lore that make them feel more like little fairies and less like undeveloped fetuses with eyes and mouths. You lost your keys, or you couldn't find the second sock in a pair. That's because Dwegons stole it and added it to their architecture. Now, do they really need more socks when the building's obviously finished? No. And I'm pretty sure that this is the only Dwegon land in the United States, so I guess the Fitzgeralds have just lost hundreds of socks and keys over the past century. At Sophia So Dwegon's house, with an entrance that leads to this, Sophia So is rocking the night away.
Just in this light on your way through here, I was there to wipe your tears, and I don't want to.
Okay, it's kind of a banger.
I've got a hole in my heart tonight.
Gotta say, she's a baddie queen. She's just rocking the night away by herself in her house and has a giant picture of her on the wall.
Can I pet your dog?
Nah, I'm kidding. Timmy doesn't die. He just gets his foot burned to a crisp while Sophia So laughs.
Ow! Ow! Oh, that's just Raggy putting a fire hallucination spell on you.
I feel so stupid!
You think it's time to tell him?
Tell me what?
Here's the deal.
Whoa, that was such a quick turnaround. Very basically, the Dwegons won a partnership with the Fitzgeralds and made Timmy get to know them first before involving Pete, because adults
scream and faint and wet their pants.
Plan A of Pete finding the gold failed. So plan B is Timmy pretends to find the gold. And in return for their infinite supply of gold, the Dwegons want a shitload of donuts.
Oh, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 gold dust for donuts.
Bars. Gold dust for donuts. The scene ends with Sophia So giving Timmy the gold coin that was originally given to Billy somewhere in the Wild West, 1849.
Your dad's gonna wonder where you are.
Timmy, are you okay?
Perfect timing. Before Pete gets too worried, Timmy leaves Dwegonland, says,
Dwegon!
and grows back to human size.
Where are you?
Timmy!
I don't think I even need to say anything. Just wow. What a moment. And I love how his go-to for acting natural is just pulling out a wrench that he just had in his pocket for some reason and using it to pretend to fix the leg of a wooden desk. San Francisco Historical Museum. Prague Sun, the world's most beautiful jewel. Loading dock. Fallout shelter. Museum loading dock only. Tom Walsh loves a good sign. The Russian thieves are getting ready to steal the Prague Sun. They take 5 of the same picture of the loading dock, then teleport to get a different angle to get a picture of a box that certainly has the Prague Sun in it. Back at the house, Pete and Missy are doing renovations while Timmy waits for them to, I guess, trip on this lump under the sheet.
but they suck at it, so he just does it himself.
Ow, I just tripped over something.
There's something hidden here.
Give me the box, Sparky.
Yeah, makes sense.
You just found your pot of gold!
Wow.
Yay!
Mission completed. TTYL.
Everything is great. Or so it seems. The Fitzgeralds hire a construction crew, but the Dwegons are scared that digging through the ground is going to destroy Dwegenland. So Griso falls the Dwegon equivalent of 1,000 feet and rips out a whole bunch of important wire shit from the excavator. This gets the construction workers all like,
Hey, Pete, better come out here. Got a problem with the dozer.
even though that's not a bulldozer. Pete leaves his laptop open yet again, this time with a draft of a website for the inn. And you know what happens when you leave your laptop open.
Our outhouses are not as smelly as other hotels. Free chicken livers with every room. If that doesn't draw in customers, I'll dip my Blackberry in Cadbury and eat it.
Came out in 2014. Pete's upset, I think. And the Dwegons worry that he'll continue trying to dig up the ground. So, naturally, I have no idea what nose he's doing here.
So still think we're nonsense?
You're the, wee one?
I don't think Pete is exhibiting the proper reaction to this scenario. Allow me to demonstrate. The Dwegons tell Pete all the same Fitzgerald ex-Dwegon shit we've heard 1,000 times and tell him to stop digging.
Timmy is a Fitzgerald, which makes him family.
Technically, so are you. Though in my opinion, you need an attitude adjustment.
What's wrong with Pete's attitude? He's a good dad. He's working hard to succeed with what he's got. Sure, he mopes a few times, but his wife is dead. He's doing fantastic. You know what? Round of applause for Pete, you guys. He deserves it. This one's for Pete.
What can I do about our dining area for the inn?
Have you seen the beautiful barn right next to the house? It'd make a terrific dining hall.
Could work.
But he's like, that costs a lot of money. So the Dwegons drop some bars. No, not musically. Not yet. I mean, gold bars.
Guess you got a deal.
Never say that to the people who tied you to your bed. Especially while you're tied to your bed. The Dwegons tell Pete to keep them a secret from Missy because, despite her never not being in the house and how much she obviously wants to be a Fitzgerald, she isn't a part of the family. Then the Dwegons say they've all agreed on a name for the inn, because I guess their compensation for the gold is donuts and creative control. You'll never fucking guess what name they choose. Go ahead. Guess. Dweg Inn?
Why is this place called the Dweeg Inn, anyway?
Dweeg is ancient Gaelic for friendship.
Well, I'm glad we could all become Dweegs.
That's not your word, Missy. Oh shit. It's once again time to rock the night away.
From the underground we come and roll into your town. We who are your silent friends, we never let you down. You hardly ever...
Another fantastic song. The best part is the Dwegon who plays his big pregnant belly like a drum. During Sophia So's epic ballad, the hippie Dwegon predicts through tarot cards that something bad is on its way to Dwegenland. Well, what could that be?
Ziprog's sun is directly in the middle. We will have 1 minute to steal it.
Whoa, her plans include killing a security guard, then shooting, without a silencer, a security camera, and just walking out with the Prague sun. I feel like the best thieves in the world wouldn't have such a loud and violent plan A for the heist. The Russians look for a place to hide after the heist and find the Dweg Inn by downloading the website, I guess?
Outhouses? Chicken livers? It sounds so disgusting. No one would stay there.
And those who do get a little surprise in the middle of the night. We don't get to see the actual heist. It just cuts between the Russians walking and an alarm going off over and over before they get to their car where Mr. Schnoodleschnoo is waiting. And they must have finally heard his voice because they pepper spray him, somehow causing him to fly out of the car, hit his head violently on a metal pole, and fall into a ditch. I mean, I hated the guy,
But I didn't want this. Oh god, this is it. Proof of human and Dwegan sexual relationships. This old Dwegan tells Grandma Fitz about Billy Fitzgerald, who we got to personally meet because he's so fucking old. Or, I guess not that old, because according to Jim, Billy left about 80 years ago. And all of the Dwegans, regardless of age, talk about 100 years like it's nothing. So they probably all knew Billy pretty well, leaving no real reason for this specific Dwegan to have this conversation with Grandma Fitz, except for what I'm afraid he's going to do to her in exchange. I hope it doesn't involve that mysterious item sitting next to him. A truck for Harry's Donuts pulls up to the house, and even though these donuts were purchased specifically for the Dwegans and they're not running out in Dweganland, Sweet Fang absolutely has to open up the truck to get his grubby forefingers on him.
Delivery of 5,000 donuts for Timmy Fitzgerald.
Oh god, Timmy. I know that they asked for 5,000 donuts, but I think they meant over time. Because now, you're gonna have to find a way to freeze 5,000 fucking donuts.
That's my toothbrush!
Where was this bath when you tracked oil all over Pete's bed? Another truck pulls up with
5 medieval bedroom sets.
But no time for that! Pete's struggling. What he needs is a heart-to-heart, a man-to-man, or man-to-Dwegan. Maybe one swimming in some insanely well-animated water?
Tell me about it, Greaso.
Do I have feelings? Dreams? No!
Pete sees all the furniture being unloaded, and when he sees that it all cost him only $50, he says,
Oh! Actually, I did order it. I'm so forgetful sometimes.
He's so lucky! Except, he's already so lucky that $50 doesn't mean anything to him. If he needed better furniture, even better than this medieval stuff, he would have just said, we need some furniture, but it costs so much money. And the Dwegans would just take another gold dump on his bed. The Russian thieves arrive and see a guillotine being unloaded from the truck.
I got it for free with my bid for 5 medieval bedroom sets.
I guess it could be useful for cutting cheese.
Excuse me.
Tom, they really found a way to write this guillotine into existence just to make that joke. Congratulations. The Russians check into the Dweg Inn and say that they're there for a fishing trip. And hold on, I think Vladdy's been waiting to say something.
I particularly like those square of fish you get at fast food establishment.
Your room is on the 2nd floor. A 3rd door on the left.
What's on his mind?
What have you got in there? Gold?
You have enough! So the Russian couple goes upstairs, where Timmy, for absolutely no reason, stops and hides behind a wall to eavesdrop on them. Guess he's taking after Nosy.
Do you think Big Log at desk was suspicious that we wouldn't let him carry our bag?
Nah.
And that's all that Timmy needed to hear to conclude that these people are evil.
Don't you think there's something weird about those guests?
They are paying guests here. They were just talking about this exhibit opening on the news.
Trusting that the walls in their room are thick enough to be soundproof and that no Dwegans are watching through the window, the thieves talk to the Russian mafia boss on the phone. They say that Mr. Pavora, you know, stole the Prague Sun from them after the heist to keep the mafia off their tail.
There is nothing worse than grunting hunchback with vendetta. Except for a Russian crime lord with vendetta.
Oh, you thought this movie was just about Dwegons and Leprechauns? Well, not those. Just Dwegans and Irishness and rainbows. No! It's about to get real.
Did you trace the number? They were calling from Gold Valley, California.
The Russian couple leaves the room, so Nosy and a Dwegan whose name you could never guess in a million years take this opportunity to break in and go through the couple's luggage while they eat.
We do not have food such like this in our homeland of Alabama.
But you're from Russia. Holy shit, it's the Pulp Fiction briefcase!
Dwegon!
Dwegon!
We could have a Dwegan art exhibit in Dweganland Square showing this great golden donut.
And in case you forgot everything ever,
we can't steal this from the inn guests.
These people stole it from a museum.
They agree that they'll take the Prague Sun to Dweganland and make Pete return it to the museum later. Because everything would be just fine if Pete walked into the museum with a recently stolen $50 million art piece. All the Dwegans work to lift the Prague Sun out of the briefcase and replace it with rocks. And, well, you know.
We'll never get this room back the way it was.
that. They are flying so slow. Good thing they are entering the room so slow.
I couldn't have done it without Locky Key here.
That's right, this Dwegon's name is Locky Key. I wonder how they came up with that. And for the third time, it's time for
Rockin' the Night Away.
But this time, it's the best song in the movie.
You blow me away. Gotta have a donut. Gotta have a donut.
Nosey's worried because all the Dwegons love having the Prog's son, but he knows the plan is to return it. Locky Key says to just tell everyone it's alone, but the thing is, this doesn't matter. It's not a conflict that ever leads to anything.
Gotta have a donut.
What's wrong, Timmy?
Oh, God. I was hoping that the adults' inability to be aware of their surroundings would just be a silly little family-friendly bit. But, oh man, Pete and Missy are gonna get shot!
We're missing some family jewelry.
It was them.
Who's them?
The
Dwegons.
Alright, you guys are gonna get shot.
What are they, rock group?
Well, there are rocks involved.
Sure, but that's not like a main thing of theirs. The Fitzgeralds lead the Russian couple and Missy down to the Dwegenland entrance, and Missy is concerned about the Russians pointing guns at them, but about nothing else. In fact, no one who doesn't know about the Dwegons is reacting to the cavern under the house, the giant spine bridge they have to walk across, or the freaky entrance with the statues. They're all just like, okay, cool cave, bro. But where's that Prog's son at?
We have to speak the password before we're let in.
Why?
Oh, it's just a security code. I've been here before.
Timmy, this isn't a game. He has an Uzi to your dad's back.
I hope you guys don't mind losing a little weight.
Wait. What?
Finally, after all that, the Russians are like, what the hell is happening? And put their guns in the Fitzgeralds' faces. But Timmy says it's chill and leads them inside to the rope bridge.
Now, Bernie! Invaders!
Okay, now they're all going to die. Guess that bridge isn't so broken now.
The Dwegon Council's gotta hear about this.
Yes, they should! But really, Nosey should have already informed them. Not only is he like an omniscient creature, but he was literally in the room when the Russians pulled out their guns.
You mind explaining?
No time!
God, these stupid adults don't know when to shut up with their questions and just jump in a gondola bucket. New band name. The thieves chase after them, going down slides, and that's it. They're exactly where they need to be.
It seems so big from here, doesn't it?
That is because we are small, my degree by male-educated babushka.
Ugh, they're not so perfect together. Even though they've escaped, the Fitzgeralds are worried that the Dwegons are now in trouble because of them. But before doing anything else, Pete catches Missy up with the same spiel we've heard 1,000 times plus one.
Would you mind explaining all that to him?
Please don't. Grandma Fritz comes back from grocery shopping with 3 identically shaped packages.
Timmy lad, Missy, anonymous workman, interesting esoteric Alabama couple.
She doesn't know that everyone's in Dwegenland right now. What an idiot. The mafia boss pulls up to the house, as well as Mr. Legs and Mr. Everything Else, who helps him down like he's Aloysius O'Hare. Watch out, Grandma Fritz! That old Dwegon might get jealous.
Let the humans fend for themselves, you said. Now look what happened.
For the first time, Tom thought, hey, maybe they don't need to see that scene. But I feel like a scene where we follow Nosey after he goes back to Dwegenland to warn everybody that the Fitzgeralds are being held at gunpoint to reveal Dwegenland would have been a worthwhile scene. You want to see something worthwhile?
If there are only 2 of them, what's the problem?
They have guns! Thank Dwegon they don't know about the Vargan's hell.
Yeah, thank Dwegon they'll never go there. The council tries to come up with a defense plan, and the ball-sack-chin Dwegan says,
I have some cool video games we can learn strategies from.
Because now is totally the time for that. The old by-the-book Dwegan lady says that the Book of Dwegons prohibits Dwegans from using violence. Specifically,
Dwegans are strictly forbidden from owning or using guns.
So unfortunately, we won't be able to see Griso with an AK. And then the Dwegans all clap? Even though they basically just said that they have no plan, and right after they clap, the Buddhist astrology Dwegan says,
This is going to end way badly.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Ireland. Okay.
Fitzgeralds are here to help you.
Yes! Woo! Let's fucking go! Can I get a jersey that says Fitzgerald's on the back?
I know we can't use guns, but there's other weapons out there. Did anyone leave a potato bazooka in my room?
Not bad.
So fucking stupid. They are specifically forbidden from using guns, and Timmy's solution is, what about a gun that shoots potatoes? Which is cute, yeah, but we've already seen how incredibly dangerous this potato bazooka is.
And so it says in the Book of Dwegan, let's kick us some butt!
This would be an appropriate time to cheer. So the Dwegons and Fitzgeralds, well, 9 Dwegons, Draggy, and the Fitzgeralds, and Missy doesn't have a gun, they march to the Prague Sun to fight the bad guys. And Timmy's adopted the role of Alice at the end of the live-action Alice in Wonderland, where he rides the big animal and is in charge of the army for no reason. It takes them almost 10 seconds to start shooting after Timmy says,
Release! Haha! Release! Release what, silly boy? Hit me with your best shot.
The Russians get pwned and make a run for it all the way to the big Dwegan stash of gold that Nosy had to take a car to earlier. And they hate each other now.
Do you see?
Don't speak. I don't want you should spoil this romantic moment.
They took one step in Dwegan land and suddenly they're all like, wow, you kinda suck. They take a bunch of gold and Sophia so fluctuates in size 1,000 times on her way to stand there with a beautiful smile and electrocute the baddies by rocking the night away. We watch Locky Key pick up the Russian couple's guns and the Russians run away. We never see the guns again.
Dwegan!
Meanwhile, Grandma Fitz is getting rizzed up by the mafia boss who says he is Vladdy's uncle, and he of course says some things in sneaky reference to the heist.
I hope he gave her something sparkly with a lot of carrots.
You want some cooked carrots?
Joke! You'll never believe it, but the Russian couple stumbles into the one and only Dwegons' hell, which is 95% lava and 5% machinery keeping this laser cage locked, which they touch immediately.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Because this guy looks like a product of a Dwegan, Uniqua, and Austin doing the dirty. But he does have some pretty terrifying things to say.
I was the kid who broke all the rules, stole all the other Dwegan's lunch money.
He's like a Sly Cooper villain! But those are actually scary. Because he's so evil, the Dwegons imprison Dwargen with all of these other reject Dwegons like Big Ed Dwegan, Mix and Match Ben 10 Dwegan, Squishy Eyeball Popping Toy Dwegan, and this dude. Dwargen says he'll help the thieves get out of Dwegan land, so they let him and all of his evil pals out of the cell. Nosy watches all of this happen. Question 1. Why is Nosy in Dwargen's hell? Question 2. Why isn't he doing anything to stop this from happening? They don't have guns anymore, so he could just do some Dwegan magic tornado shit and send them flying into the lava.
I gotta warn everybody, this is bad.
Go tell them, Nosy!
Emergency warning!
All the Dwegons are freaking out while the Fitzgeralds are chill because they have no idea what's going on. So it cuts and the alarm and music goes silent for Pete to get a little history lesson from the old book Dwegan.
Many years ago, Dwargen... real name is Daryl, but he thinks Dwargen sounds scarier.
It does.
Yeah, much scarier.
We get it. He's supposed to be scary.
In his attempt to seize control of Dwegenland, one of the spheroids exploded in his face.
Which would explain why he's so butt ugly.
Says sexiest Dwegan alive, Nosy Threehorn.
Hey, a little help over here, please.
Damn, Pete! Hope you didn't waste too much money on renting construction vehicles when you got a fine-ass dump truck attached to you. The Fitzgeralds ride on top of Griso's tank, which one might refer to as a gun on wheels. But this one does...
heavy-duty lubricant.
So yeah. Griso shows off the power of his tank by just shooting oil at Sweet Fang's house, and Sweet Fang is there because he's accepted Dvargan's rule already.
We attack by ground. We attack by water. We attack by air. You, a Thumbo position.
Is that like a known thing that this guy does? Dvargan's army very slowly approaches the Prague Sun as the Dwegans prepare for attack, setting up every projectile-based weapon you could think of, but using potatoes as ammo. I hope that guy can breathe underwater. The two armies meet, and they don't really exchange punches back and forth, but rather the Dwegans pummel Dvargan's army, then Dvargan's army remembers the powers that they have and start pummeling the Dwegans. Those Dwegans are dead, right? As this epic battle is happening, Dvargan goes right to the Prague Sun and says that it belongs to him now, screwing over the Russian couple.
We have agreement. Take it up with my lawyer, man.
I looked up this phrase, and there's absolutely nothing about it. Also, while they're fighting, these two bad guys casually go sit down with cups of coffee and a pile of donuts, which turns out to be a trap set by Griso.
Love the smell of dirty socks in the morning.
No, you didn't miss the context. There is none.
Any last requests? Not that it matters.
Let go of my dad, Daryl!
Jesus Christ, Timmy! Look at him! Who taught him that?
Do you really think you can beat me, boy?
Maybe not, but he can!
I guess Pete was completely fine, even without Timmy's out-of-pocket extreme violence. Yeah, Sweet Fang fucking dies. It's insane. Nah, I'm kidding. He flies away in the nick of time and hides behind a non-sentient stalactite, which Dvargan then crashes through like it's nothing. Couldn't take a punch, though. The bad guys topple the Great Sock Hall and knock over this giant clock tower. Potato Dwegan tries to fucking kill the Russian couple with a stalactite, but fails. I don't really know what's happening here, but Timmy and Pete end up falling into a pile of socks. All hope is lost. Until...
You and your Dwegan allies are no match.
Now we're Dwegan. Send backup!
I'm sorry, what are these things? We're not gonna get a lore dump about them? Then Tatiana strangles Timmy before Missy and a few Dwegans drop stacks of newspapers with perfect accuracy on top of her and Vladdy's heads without hitting Timmy in the process. A bad guy Dwegan chucks a rock at Nosy and Missy, causing Nosy to dodge and drop Missy before doing what Spider-Man couldn't. Then something happens that I need you to be prepared for. Oh, another silly little Dwegan thing! No. It's a lot.
TTYL, what are you doing?
See? Even Sophia So doesn't know why that part's in the movie. Turns out the Chinese Dwegan sent over a giant battle robot because, I don't know, they had to have already owned the parts for this thing because it puts itself together in this Dwegan land, so I'm not really sure what the Chinese Dwegans even did besides press the button to put the robot together. All the Dwegans take a break from fighting to watch this robot emerge and stomp so hard on the ground as it walks that it cuts to the stalactites on the cave ceiling shaking 3 separate times. This is what you need to be worried about. It's like when Thor and Loki brought Surtur back to life to kill their sister but also destroy the entire planet in the process. This time with the added touch of a callback to a racist tangent. New band name.
You've been a bad boy, Daryl.
That line is going in the toy. The Chinese Dwegan robot lasers and traps Dvargan and his army in what I can only assume is a bubble of unbearable suffering. And it just walks away.
How did you do that? Simple. All you have to know is how to properly phase its multi-index frequency code using the chips we inserted in the russet potatoes in combination.
He just called your Dwegan cousins in China.
Oh, I thought he was being insufferable, but it turns out he's just insufferable.
When this is all over, it'd be great to visit China Dwegan Land. Come on, everybody!
Oh yeah, they forgot to mention this, but the battle's over now. Yeah, that's it. They're celebrating now. How? You know.
Rocking the night away.
Put your hands together, come on! Hopping around. Enough to know.
Dad, why don't you dance?
I'll show you how, Sparky.
Yay, that lady that won't leave my house has finally wormed her way into the family! But not everything's fine and dandy. Remember, Grandma Fitz is still upstairs talking to the mafia boss. So the Fitzgeralds head back up to their house. Hold up. Sophia So has one more song before you guys leave.
And I know.
You guys, we have 2 minutes left in this movie, and we still have to... And they kissed. That's wonderful.
Searching all...
And there's fireworks that spell out weekends. All right, back to Grandma.
Your wife is a very lucky woman, Oleg.
Before the mafia boss can swoon her, the Fitzgeralds emerge with the Prague Sun safe and sound and the Russian couple all tied up. The Russians pull out their guns and Grandma Fitz's potatoes are peeled.
Holding people at gunpoint. Some things haven't changed since the Old West.
Now, how do you think this situation gets resolved? Yeah, don't even bother trying to answer. The hawk from earlier flies through the window, distracts the henchmen, Griso uses bolt cutters to drop a chandelier on them, other Dwegons swoop in to take their guns away, Griso shoots them with yet another lube gun, and one of the guns is given to Missy. Cut to the Fitzgeralds snug as a Dwegan in a cupboard watching their success on the news. Pete and the inn get a shout-out, and the mafia boss is taken to prison.
Grandma Fitz, call me! My number's 415. Stop push, get your hands off me!
Timmy asks how they'll handle all the customers, and it cuts to the Dwegons, who say they should help get the inn ready and Dweg on before flying into the camera and... title card. Oh my god, I'm in tears. Well, what'd you think? Pretty fucking awesome, right? Best thing you've ever seen, probably. An hour and 40 minutes of pure Dwegan lore and shenanigans. But what if I told you there's more? That's right, the credits are fucking awesome. Look at all of this concept art. And look, originally, Sophia So didn't have disgusting eyebrow braids down to her knees. This is honestly such an amazing thing to add to the end of the movie. The whole time you're sitting there wondering what the fuck you're looking at or what's going on, and it ends with a bunch of tangible evidence that Tom Walsh spent a lot of time and effort making this. And I gotta say, I appreciate the hell out of it. Out of him. Throwing together a stupid low-budget movie just to trick some people into buying your movie for their kids is one thing. But that's not what Tom Walsh did here. This isn't knock off anything. It's unapologetically its own original thing. And it obviously took a while to put together. These credits show us not only concept art of the characters and locations in Dwegan Land, but there is an insanely detailed map of Dwegan Land and a completely original song.
To the rainbow in the sky.
All of this evidence of Tom Walsh's effort put into this movie leaves me wondering, who is Tom Walsh? Thankfully, Tom has a decent presence online. And by that, I mean that his IMDb mini bio is 1,200 words long. And written by Tom Walsh. According to Tom, Tom's done a bunch of shit. He's written, produced, and directed several TV pilots, co-produced 2 live-action films as part of IDL Inc., and helped make virtual sets for video games. Apparently, Tom Walsh worked a lot at NBC, where he created the Interaction Venue. It made virtual sets that the actors would then mocap in. He worked at 30 Rock when he was in college at NYU. He's also worked a lot in China, so I guess Dwegan Land China wasn't too random of an insert. He launched all of the merchandising for the Halloween movie and the Michael Myers character. What hasn't this guy done? Tom Walsh is currently still working as the head of TW3 Entertainment, which was founded with the intent of creating entertainment involving new, original characters and fantasy worlds. Tom, I think you did it. Dwegan Land is exactly that. Tom Walsh doesn't make a lot of other appearances on the internet. He does have a Facebook where his profile picture shows us that the Dwegan sculptures from the credits are real. And I need that! But that's about it for his explicit appearances. Yeah, you heard that right. That's just what we know for certain came from Tom Walsh because he attaches himself to it, but there's a lot of other activity that I feel like Tom had a hand in. This includes most stuff about Dwegons and Leprechauns online. I really can't tell if there's just a few people who have seen this movie, or if it's half of that audience and the other half is Tom Walsh. There's only a handful of reviews, the wiki is just the cast list. The box office website does have it as a movie, but doesn't say anything about its box office performance. And there's also just some weird shit that I don't know how to describe. However, much like Nosey's lore dumps, these tiny corners of the internet might seem unimportant, but they add so much more to my understanding of Dwegons. I'm gonna read you some reviews. Whoops, that one's just the lyrics to This Is America. The promise of the rainbow is unforgettable. This film will delight the young and the young at heart. It is a film about friendship, teamwork, love, and the little Dwegon characters are so cute they are sure to steal your heart. Dwegon Land is so magical and colorful and a cool place for the kids in your life to visit. Sophia So Dwegon rocks! She will leave you singing and dancing and craving donuts. The beautiful musical score stays in your heart and mind. The memorable melody and words of Promise of the Rainbow delivers a message of hope, light, and encouragement. Tom, did you write that? It's okay if you did. Okay, so this one's mostly plot summary, but there's a few things in here. Tom Walsh delivers Dwegons and Leprechauns in his directorial debut. The storyline was fun and unfolded well, and the characters were well written and fun. The animation was above average, but not elite. Let's not be ridiculous here. The voices fit the characters well and are pretty funny. Never try to bamboozle a bamboozler. I found this on Netflix and decided it would be a cool March movie to watch with my daughter. It was entertaining and she loved it. There is definitely some pretty cool things they do with animation, and the color schemes are beautiful. This film is definitely worth a viewing, but doesn't reach elite status. That ox is in trouble. Now you might be saying, why would Tom give himself a C+? Well, this review is about 2 weeks after the previous review, and I feel like Tom might have just been like, 10 out of 10, I mean, come on, it's not elite. Like, he wants to be realistic, get some of those middle ground people in. This one is really sweet and wholesome, and I just want to share this one with you. Enchanting, delightful film, perfect for St. Patrick's Day. I recently was watching my autistic godchild and his friends. They are normally a handful. It is a snowy, icy day, and I could not take the kids anywhere. The children helped me to turn my dining room into a beautiful St. Patrick's Day decorative table. They wanted to go to the movies, and due to inclement weather, had to stay in. We were looking for a net flick. We found Dwegons and Leprechauns and decided to give it a try. The children were absolutely mesmerized. They loved the colors, the story, and were asking me to rewind so that they could hear the Cave Flyers band over and over. They laughed and were completely entertained. They loved the donut gun. I am very grateful to have found this wonderful family film today. Isn't that just so nice? Having a great day, despite the inclement weather outside, they stayed in. A Dwegon prayer, dear St. Patrick, up in heaven, send your blessings upon the Dwegons children of all ages, young and old, are looking for the promise of the rainbow and a pot of gold. The children are singing and dancing and clapping their hands. May these little Dwegons be heard in all the lands. Amen. I'm so glad that the kids had so much fun. Okay, this one is pretty specific, which makes me feel a little doubtful about whether it's Tom writing this. Watching my autistic godchild and his friends, like if that's made up, that's like creative, I guess. Also, they refer to it as a net flick, and I'm assuming Tom Walsh knows what Netflix is as someone who's in the entertainment industry. And the thing that makes me doubt that it's Tom Walsh the most is that it says, they loved the donut gun. If you are Tom Walsh, great. You did it. You are a genius at making people think that this isn't you. If you aren't Tom Walsh, pay attention. It wasn't a donut gun, it was a potato gun. Idiot. But I do think that Tom Walsh could have written this because it's about Dwegons and Leprechauns, and it was also posted the exact same day that the other 10-star review was. But my biggest clue is when they say they were asking them to rewind so that they could hear the Cave Flyers band over and over. Cave Flyers band? I've watched this movie about 10 times. Not once have I noticed that the band is called the Cave Flyers. Can I put it here if it's actually in the movie? If I didn't remember that, no one remembers that. Okay? Now, are these most likely written by Tom Walsh? I have no idea. I don't really have a good read on these sorts of things. I don't even know what that sort of thing would be, but that, I'm not good at it. But did he write everything that the Dwegons and Nosy Three-Horn Tumblr pages have posted? Yes! Including this. This was posted January 25th, 2014. I need it to come. It has to. I don't know what I'm going to do. I keep on gazing at the IMDb page. Its words run across my screen. January 24th, 2014. I've looked everywhere. It's not here. I've shouted to the nearest stumps, Dwegon! But my calls go unanswered, as do the ones to Tom. Tom Walsh, the trusted creator. For 10 years, he has tried and tried to release this movie, but every effort has been proved futile. Every fucking ounce of strength he pulled from his whole body went into this movie. And for what? For the public to obsess over fucking Disney and their cisgendered characters? For God's sake. Can't society ever have faith in beings that transcend gender and life as a whole? What it means to be a Dwegon is far different than what it means to be human. Dwegons are not bound by the chains of normality within American culture. Dwegons go beyond that. Imagine a world with no borders, segregation, or racism. Add a little bit of rainbow surfing and some rock and roll, and you've got Dwegon Land. I call out to all those who admire a fun family adventure to join me in this effort for equality. For Dwegons to be accessed to all people, not just foreign markets. Bring America Dwegons, for I will not rest until it happens. So I guess that's how Tom Walsh sees Dwegons. Not just a family-friendly film with an original creative cast of colorful characters, but a way to beat the mainstream with characters and stories that challenge the chains of normality within American culture. Tom, we're friends, right? I think this is a little bit of a stretch. Do I think that Dwegons and Leprechauns is the greatest film of all time? No. Objectively, it's not. But it is my favorite film that I watched in 2025. It was refreshingly different, and it's cool to watch and support something that someone put a lot of work into creating, even if that thing isn't a big success. You can appreciate the effort in itself here. And there is creativity on display here. There's tons of it. It's all clunkily jammed together to make this extremely disjointed and bizarre film, but that's better than most of what I see on Tubi. It's not just some guy who had some friends and a camera, or someone ripping off popular IPs to trick kids into watching their garbage. It's a guy with a lot of experience in entertainment saying, hey, I'm gonna try to make something fun, and following through with it. You know what it is? It's inspirational. I hope I can one day carry out an extensive project that I think is the bomb, and even if it falls on its face, I still had a great time working on it, and am proud of it. I made fun of Dwegons and Leprechauns a lot in this video, and it's very easy to do so, and it's deserving of it. It's unintentionally hilarious, and you're not a bad person for thinking it is, or for preferring cisgendered Disney movies instead. I have to say though, there's a lot of value in this movie that most other movies can't produce. And for that reason, I love Dwegons and Leprechauns. I'm a proud Dwegons fan. And I hope you are too. Dwegon!